Good boy. I tell him he's from royalty. He thinks he's special. Think you're so special, huh? You are special. I mean, I can't think of a better way to do my sentence, you know? I mean, to have a dog while I'm in jail, and then to know, not just have a dog, but we're doing something that's so important. 90% of the dogs that get trained in prisons end up not only going to people in wheelchairs, but kids in wheelchairs.
Lay it on a little longer, I'll never break, I'll only bend. You know the time will never scare me, I'll ride it to the end. You know my time ain't worth nothing, it's all I got to spend. Yeah, my time ain't worth nothing, it's all I got to spend. You know my time ain't worth nothing, it's all I got to spend.
I mean, it's a prison, you know. It's not going to be. It's not a pleasant experience, you know. But it's not supposed to be. It could be a lot worse. It was a lot worse where I was before this, at MCI Concord across the street. I was over there for 3 years and 3 months.
Here in Concord, Massachusetts, behind a wall and razor wire, is MCI Concord, a medium security prison.
Most inmates have a jade to them, a hardened way of them because of their incarceration behind a wall facility, because of the strict environment, the rules and regulations. There's a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety in a wall facility, there's a lot of violence in a wall facility.
Across the street, behind these farm fences, is the Northeastern Correctional Center, or Concord Farm, a minimum security prison.
Coming to a minimum facility is generally a breath of fresh air to an inmate. The rules and regulations are still here. They're not as strict. You're not in a constant environment of overpopulation. You're not in a lockdown environment. You're in an easier environment as prison life goes.
At Concord Farm, a small number of inmates are selected to train dogs.
Inmates, for the most part, are nearing the end of their sentence. They've done a lot of the programming. They have good behavioral skills, and they're really ready to go back to the community. So they're getting a puppy to raise on the end of their sentence as they transition back to the community.
Concord Farm is one of 5 correctional facilities in Massachusetts to host a prison pup program, where puppies are raised and trained to help the handicapped and hearing impaired.
Girl.
PAULA RICARD from the National Education for Assistance Dog Services, NEADS, oversees the program.
Oh, I definitely had reservations going into prison. I was very nervous. You know, I walked in there and I was left alone in a room, you know, with these male inmates, and, you know, it was hard.
But I mean, puppies by nature, they're just very curious about their world. Everything's more interesting than you. So you guys are gonna have to learn how to make yourself the most interesting, the most important thing in the dog's environment. So it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
I'd like to see. What do you weighed last time I weighed him? 53?
Correctional Officer David McHugh decides which inmates are eligible to participate.
The inmates have to have approximately 24 months left in their sentence, and they have to have been here for 6 months, D-report free, and no violence to animals. D-report is a disciplinary report. It is for doing something wrong. Anything from gambling to smoking to being out of place to being disrespectful, disruptive. Actually, large variety of infractions.
Oil against oil.
Officer McHugh, he meets with you and interviews you, and if he thinks you're a good egg, you know, and he can tell because he's been around. He knows how to read people.
She's here with you. Yeah.
Billy is serving the last 2.5 years of a second drug offense at Concord Farm. This time, he was sentenced to 7 years. His first puppy has just arrived.
A week today. Got him a week today. He was 13 weeks, now which means he's 14 weeks now. His name is Wynn, W-I-N-N.
He's a good boy. I was waiting for a puppy for a while. I was waiting and wondering and worrying. And then he finally came, a good boy. What a good boy, what a good boy.
One of the unique features of running a prison pup partnership program is inmates have time, and consequently, inmates are in the position to really put tremendous effort into training.
They're a lot of work. Sometimes it seems like all I'm doing all day long is wiping something up, taking this away from them, put that down, get out of there. And so it's never a dull moment.
A lot of these guys never really had a real job, never had any responsibility, and the dog has a lot of responsibility, and it's a job for them. It's something that myself and the other screening staff try to instill, if not put the fear into them, that if they mess this up, that the rest of their time is going to be very hard if they lose the dog, and they'll never have another one.
That is always the sword hanging over, if you will. If they violate rules and regulations of this facility, it's an automatic return to higher custody.
Come in. Good boy.
Prison pups live in the cell with the inmates, accompany them to the chow hall, and require a regular training schedule that leaves little opportunity for downtime.
I can't stand to just sit idle, be idle, and not do anything. I need to be doing something, even if it's just sweeping a floor.
This is all tangled up.
I think idle time sometimes leads to unrest, but more often it just seems to me part and parcel of the deflation of spirit, the collapse of people that you see in prison. If you're there around the clock, you see people who are defeated. They're defeated by time and nothing to do.
I think prison administrators across the country are most concerned about boredom or lack of constructive activities to engage inmates. We always like to say busy inmates are happy inmates.